Hello there and happy Saturday evening, afternoon. Welcome to the broadcast. Trying this for the first time, but before we get started, we're going to thank some sponsors. As always, Pickens Ace Hardware there with us, with locations in Dale City, Woodbine, Locust Grove, and the old J.E. Rice location in Manassas. Pickens Ace Hardware is your spring place for your spring hardware and garden needs. Also like to give a quick shout out to Rock and Stock for many years of great music. The introduction that you just heard is another example of some of the music that he's provided for everybody to use in their videos. So thank you very much, Rock and Stock, for providing us music. And as you can see, I'm pointing the wrong direction. This is live. We are live, and this is the first time I've tried this. I'm not used to being on this side of the camera, but right here, you've got a live chat, comment, let me know if you have any questions, say hi, make fun of me. It's all good. Everything's fair game, just keep it clean. Like it says, join in and be a part of the conversation. Most importantly, ask questions. So anyways, what are we doing here? Last year this time, our ceiling collapsed over here. This is our old section of our house. We built an addition on this side a couple years back, and we used to have a wall here, and this used to be our dining room. And we weren't using it at the time, but the ceiling just collapsed out of it. It was a 40-year-old house, and it was held up by nails, and eventually gravity just gave through. There was nothing up above it except for insulation, so it destroyed everything over here, and it pushed along our plans, our long-awaited plans to renovate our kitchen. So fast forward to today, we are thick in the middle of our renovation. As you can see, we've got cabinets, drywall, everything's back up. We've got insulation, lots of other things have been going on for the last year. Siding on the back of the house, new windows, new framing, all sorts of stuff have been going on. So anyways, we got to the point in the remodel where we had to choose countertops. And my wife came across some translucent countertops, and it gave me the idea, oh, great, we can put LED lights behind it, because anybody that knows me knows I love lighting. So started looking at lighting options and saw some of these flimsy LED solutions, and heck, I even tried to rig up what I thought I needed, which was basically like little panels, little blocks underneath with LED lights. And I tried this, and it worked okay. It was kind of the right concept, the right direction of what I wanted to go to. But the flimsy ones, I wasn't too comfortable using. So eventually I stumbled upon a little product called Slablite. And these are square foot acrylic panels with one LED strip in there connected. They run at 1.92 watts. Per panel, and you can set your slabs directly on top of this. Obviously, you got to glue it in place. You can cut them as long as you don't cut through the LEDs. Sorry about the noise in the background. My neighbor's cutting the grass. But anyways, you can cut certain points here. There's guidelines on how to do this. I've learned a lot on how to work with these things in the last couple of months. So anyways, I'll show you the panels, the countertop that we've looked at. This is the countertop that we settled on. It is a Cristalla blue marble, and you can see the sunlight here through it. This is how the professionals tell whether or not the material is translucent enough. And what we'll do is whenever we set that material in place, it'll be translucent through this. So basically the slab lights provide enough lighting to be like a natural light through the stone. So it exemplifies the colors and all that good stuff. So it looks really cool. And so yeah, we've got a couple upcoming videos that I've done for all this. Reminds me I better record this. Not that I'm not recording it here. But got a couple of cool videos coming out about the slab lights, about the installation process. But I've wanted to do something live here in person just to kind of highlight what I'm going to get into in some of the instruction videos. I've also got some other videos coming about the progress of the kitchen itself, some construction projects that we did, some how to do type of things, that sort of stuff. So anyways, enough of that. We're going to get to it, and we're going to install a few of these things. So, can zoom in on this thing a little bit. So we got a couple of dummy panels here that don't light up, and the reason why we have these here is because we've got a vent that comes down here. There's no need to have electrified lights in here. So we've got a live wire here. We're going to come down, and we're going to put another LED right here. So let's grab a new one. Let's start from scratch, and let's do it all. Now I do have another camera with me, so we can go ahead and we can turn this bad boy on, so that you guys can see a little bit better about what I'm doing here. Maybe, maybe not. No comments so far. Hopefully, oh, no messages. So if you're tuning in, just say hi. Let me know you're watching. So this will be kind of the boring part and monotonous part of doing all these things, is just a lot of repetitive work. So we've got to strip our wires off just a little bit, just so that there's enough there, and we will be, hopefully you guys can see me okay on this. Then we have to do a little bit of rigging here. We have to do a little bit making sure that everything's going to fit in place. And I haven't prepared too much here other than our wire. So one thing we do have to note is where the wires come out, there's a little bit of glue there, so there's a little bit of a bump. So up here in this spot, we're going to have to drill out a little bit to make a recess area. So we'll just take a spade bit. Without hitting our other existing slab lights, we'll just chip out a part of this. Not really too complicated. Do that to get the right spot. I can just about one clean. We'll have a special guest appearance by the DIY dog, Chloe. Should be coming up here in a couple of minutes. Say hi to everybody watching. So stay tuned for that. There we go. So that recess is okay there. There's a plastic protective coating on top of this to protect it from, any scratches or anything. Not that we need a whole lot of protection on here. And one thing I like to do is I like to figure out where these wires are going to come down and mark, because our next step involves putting these two sets of wires together. I'll show you how to do that right now. But first, we have to rig up a little bit of something. Hey Deb, how are you doing? Nice to see you. Debbie from Delaware checking in. So one thing I did for the previous ones, put a little rig up here so we can put everything in place and hold it. Don't need to go too far with it. We need to go far enough where we'll hold this guy in place. And of course, nothing can ever be simple, because wouldn't you know it, this pipe is in the way. So what we're going to do is we're going to lower this jig just a little bit. All we need to do is just put it in place so that it will hold somewhat close. Painter's tape is invaluable for these projects, especially when you don't have an extra set of hands. So we will hold this guy in place right here. We're going to come down to our cut spot. Exciting work, I know, but this is what you get for DIY. So I got a text message from somebody there. Unfortunately, I can't get to my phone because I'm using it for the live stream. But what we're going to do, separate these guys. We have to put all these wires together. So the next question is, well, how exactly do we do that while keeping it all back here? Well, I'll show you in just a second. Hold on. Super, super exciting stuff here, I know. It's very calm and peaceful work, in my opinion. I love doing stuff like this. So, got one wire coming up and two coming down. So 3 wires are put together. How do we do that? We use these guys, these little wire connectors. So you stick one end is a little bit longer than the other, or a little bit wider. Solder in the middle, and what we're going to do is we're going to stick all the wires in there, heat them up, and the solder is going to melt in place. Now, these things taste bad, but we got to do what we got to do. So wrap these wires around one another. Take the big end, put them on there. Get a little closer. Wish I could zoom in with that thing, but I can't. Doing the best I can. These 2 wires came apart. So the important part is make sure that these things are wrapped together so one doesn't slide out. Put the big end in. There we go. You want to get it over that red spot. I'll have detailed information in the videos upcoming soon. Spin the threads on some of these wires around. I'll be able to get closer shots in with that video soon, but can only do so much with one person going live here. You all are lucky to have 2 cameras at the moment. So we got one in there. Put a second one through. Make sure they overlap. And there we go. I take a little bit of tape. Just to hold the pressure back from these. So it doesn't pull out. Now let's go and test to make sure our connectivity works. And we've got light, and we do. So now, take our heat gun and heat them on up. It doesn't take very long. You got to make sure you direct it away from the Slablites, because I've melted a couple of these guys. Not terribly, but just a little bit. It takes about 30 to 45 seconds. Once you see the solder in the middle starting to melt, you're usually pretty good. And just make sure that the rubber or the plastic around the ends melts so that it holds and secures those collars in place. So once again, we'll turn it on. All good to go. We do have this thing on the dimmer switch. Eventually all these guys will dim. Now we wait for those guys to cool down, and we will lower them in place. So while we wait a second there, none of my broadcasts have ever been complete without a napkin joke. So let's go with the world famous Mrs. Gallagher napkin jokes. Meanwhile, the Slablite just fell. What has 5 toes and isn't your foot? It's my foot. Well, there you go, folks. Live blooper on TV. Just lost the Slablite due to a napkin joke. So, this guy cracked a little bit. Let's see. Yep, we cracked. This is the first time this has happened for me doing all this. So, live. So we're gonna have to redo this guy and start from scratch. And we need more Slablites. Well, I can just use this guy over here. So there you go. Accidents live. You know I'm live whenever stuff like this happens. So let's do it all over again. Can't wait to see that replay. All right. Now this time we're going to have shorter lines because we've got to cut some of this back. So, whoops. Shit happens, as they say, right? So it doesn't matter how far we cut these back, as long as they're somewhat even. Somebody commented, rookie mistake. Yeah, something like that. Turn you back on the camera for a second. Anyways, I wonder if I could just pull these guys out. Yep. So that'll work. There's a little bit of solder on the existing ones. Really not a big deal. It's a bigger problem if you got to cut the Slablites, because the leads on those lines are just a little bit on the short side. So, pull this up. Now this time, I'm going to use a little bit more tape, just to be safe. If you're in the neighborhood and watching, come on by and help me, or send your kid. My son is currently working at Ace Hardware, our sponsor. So, otherwise he'd be here helping me a little bit. Yeah, let's try not to let that happen again. All right. Need to get my connectors, another set. And I'm not sure if I zoom in with this camera, if it'll be a better angle or not, or if you'll just see my butt. Nah, you're just gonna see my butt and nobody wants to see that. So we'll leave it right about there, okay? We'll go with the iPhone again. Live production, folks, live production. Someone else is commenting. Let's see. What's the question? How much does each Slablite cost? That's a very good question. I just actually spoke to the owner yesterday. I purchased them about 4 or 5 months ago, maybe longer, and they were $75 a slab. Now that doesn't include shipping. But I spoke to the owner yesterday, and primarily all of his products come from China, and the price has gone up to $80 a slab now. But I tell you, my opinion, oh, look at this. Way I connector without any solder in it. That's a second first for me. I've never had one of these connectors have no solder. So yeah, the prices have gone up, and that's due to some, and we're not going to discuss politics on this channel, but it's due to worldwide events and the prices of things. So $80 is where he's currently at, and we're filming right now, what is it today, the 5th or 6th? So All right, so let's get these connectors in the right place again. Overlap with these wires. And then we will test. I'm working as fast as I can. This is the real time it takes to work on these things. Not including the planning phase. Oh my goodness. So much planning goes into these. Because you can only cut them in certain directions, you have to really lay them out a certain way and plan ahead. Let's make sure our tape's good. Test them, make sure that one's good, and it is. Let's get back to heating. Got 2 people watching. That's not bad for a rookie YouTube live streamer. Definitely don't envision myself as a live streamer. This content definitely is not very exciting. But since I'm usually on the other end of the channel, of the camera, doing hockey games and such, I figured I'd give this a shot. I certainly like the product a lot, and I think a lot of it, so that's why I'm doing this. And also for the heck of it. So let's make sure our connection is still good, and it is. All right, we'll get there. And if you're just joining in, here's, once again, take a look at the slab. Now we're going to use construction adhesive to put on this. You do have to apply some pressure and put some bracing in place for these wall this wall application. But we're just going to go with it. I might have to stop and put a screw in here or something. Put a couple of these guys in. The hardest part of doing this is to make sure that the wires end up in the right spots. So we'll put our adhesive in place. Just a few dabs here and there. Yes, I will remove the rig in just a second. But before we get started, let's make sure, not too hot. You gotta make sure that these things are connected. We'll put a little bit of gook in here so it holds the wire in place. Take our jig out. Put a little bit more. This is not liquid nails. This is actually Gorilla Glue. Doesn't matter what color it is because the translucent light is coming through the front of it. Now on the front, whenever we put our stone against this, you'll want to use clear adhesive. And there's a recommendation on their website, on the Slablite website. So we will 100% follow their recommendation on this. All right. Everything's set in place for us to flip this guy. Get the wire set up in place. Takes a little finagling. There we go. And everything's good. So these guys will move on you if you're not careful. So we're going to take our tape and press it hard into place. Make sure we don't get a lot of movement in between these panels. There we go. On to the next one. But before we get on to the next one, do something a little fun real quick. Let you guys meet somebody. We're going to do a little experiment here. You know how, what's the one thriller character name where you say his name 3 times and he appears? Well, we're going to do something similar here. We've got some nice juicy bananas here. And all we're going to do is make this noise. That's it. That's the noise we're going to make. Doesn't matter where she is in the house, she always hears bananas. Isn't that right, Chloe? Oh my. Well, this might be another first. Chloe. Chloe. Huh. Interesting. Okay. She may be boycotting the broadcast. Chloe. Hey. Let's make that noise again. Let's make that noise again. Banana noise. Banana. Uh-oh. Say hi to everyone, Chloe. She loves her nanners. Say hi to everyone. Say hi to everyone at home. No, no hi. That's a big piece for her. Eating on live TV. Well, live YouTube, it doesn't count. All right, we have just a little bit left. You good? All right, that's it. Can I get a paw? You're welcome. Thank you for coming and saying hi. All right. So that's it there. We're going to get back to doing our next Slablite. Fun and exciting stuff. But you know, maybe we'll do another napkin joke, and hopefully nothing will fall behind us. So why did a squirrel swim on his back? To keep his nuts dry. Hey-o! Thank you for the napkin joke idea, Mrs. Gallagher, if you're watching. Appreciate it. All right, so we're going to get back to work here and do one more of these slabs. This guy is definitely not held in place good because it's starting to come off, but it's only because we don't have a piece of framing. You know, I've been putting framing behind these ones on the wall to keep them in place, but normally you got about 20-30 minutes before you really need to put anything. So we'll be okay here for a couple minutes. I do need to get another slab. I am out of slabs. Come in a great big box. These things ship all the way from California. They are made in China though, so they ship across from there. But I tell you, they are really, really, really good products. Well insulated. Throw this over here. Not sure how many, oh, there's 10 to a bundle. So far, Debbie, you're the only one commenting. I see someone else there online. No one's saying anything. So chime in, let us know you're watching. Tell us how your day is going. Ask some questions. All right. Same thing as last time. We'll move our ladder out of the way. Go again. They change color if you like them. Well, you can buy colored ones. They're more expensive, obviously. These are just white, a single LED type of white. They're not any different. You can't change the tone of the white. But you can buy the LED light changeable ones like regular LEDs. So we opted not to do that. They were about $50 more. So, you know, it's one of those things. Do you really, really need it when we're buying so many? You know, we bought like $12,000 or $13,000 worth of these things because we're covering everything. I'm not sure if you can see from the kitchen here, but we're doing these counters all the way over here, the backsplash all the way across. We're doing this island here, which I don't think I've got that in the view, but there's a giant island here and another island on the other side. So, you know, it adds up kind of quick, and you can't really, you know, my opinion is I couldn't justify doing colored LEDs. It would probably be cool with the right material, but I wasn't that interested in doing color. We did do color above the cabinets and below the cabinets for LEDs. We did under counter lighting. That's going to be another video that's going to come out. So stay tuned for that one. All right. Good to go there. I'm going to mark our lines, and we're going to put down a little bit lower this time. Cut these here. Got to move the camera back up. Oh, I'm not on. So what's the temperature like where you're at today? About 78 degrees here, nice and warm. Sun is setting here in Northern Virginia. How's the weather over in Delaware and whoever else is watching? Pull these things apart. Old age sucks. It's easier to see with the glasses off at times. Our wires once again. And this is essentially just a very repetitive exercise. I probably won't post. I probably won't stay live, but whenever I get down here, I'm going to have to cut one of the pieces with a table saw. So you'll see that in one of the videos. But in general, I just want to get everybody an idea of what this project was all about. In case anybody out there is wondering what it's like to do LED lights under your cabinets, countertops. There we go. Got one. Good to go. Make sure our tape is holding on still. Very boring work. Very boring work. But if you like working by yourself and you like doing things, this is the perfect type of stuff for you. All right, there we go. We're going to move this line down just a little bit so we don't heat up our Slablite and melt it again. Let's test it and make sure that this guy works. Looks like we're good to go. This is where I need my glasses, and it's on. Now, I will put on my glasses for this one, just to make sure I don't do anything stupid. Melt the solder down on the inside and the plastic on either side of this wire so that it all holds in place. All right. We will turn on the lights one more time. Just make sure that's good. I didn't actually see it. So let's try that again. Okay. Yeah, it's on for sure. Now, these things are, you know, they'll stay really, ooh, that's hot. Yeah, that's hot. You'll burn yourself if you're not really careful. They're really hot. Woo.
We got a beat, you got emotion, we got the heat so hot.
All right, well, that's enough time. We should be cool now. Yeah, they're cool. It's important to find other things to do with your time while you're waiting for things to cool down. So let's go ahead and get started on this guy. Putting it in place. Forgot to check on the weather comment there. We had a weather report from Delaware, I think. Put this in place. Let's see, 75 degrees in Delaware. Would these things work under ice? They are actually water resistant. Yes, they are. I'm not going to try that because obviously I don't have that kind of money to do that many LED panels underneath an ice rink. We did do an ice rink. That's one of my videos. If you're just new to the channel, Son and I did ODR here in Northern Virginia. Had about a week and a half, 2 weeks of nice cold weather. So let's take our jig off. Put a little bit more on. Put one here in the center. Take our tape off. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. I'm actually wearing a wireless mic on me just because that mic from over there on the camera probably wouldn't have picked me up too well. Got it, so might as well use it. So let's put the wires in place. And sink everything in. Now you notice I didn't use the paddle bit this time, and there's a good reason for that. It's because it already was drilled out in that spot. So everything's fitting nice and snug. Our wire's in the right channel. And it's important about these wires. This is a 12 volt wire, and 12 volt wires typically don't run very long. The current doesn't run very long on them. On the LED lights that are used under the cabinets and on top of the cabinets, I used a 24 volt system. And yeah, so for these, I decided to go with a cyclical current line. So there's a couple places where I've got some redundancy built in, just to make sure that the wires don't lose too much of their current. All right, so we got everything in place here. Tape these guys together. Some last little teeny bit adjustment here. These things don't absolutely have to be 100% perfect, but you don't want big gaps, because you will regret it later. All right, so now that that's done, I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of bracing in place just to make sure that we are good here. And you know what? I'm going to actually change this. We're going to go this way just to make sure that these guys are held in place. We don't have any electrical wires behind any of this. But just in case we do, all we'll do is we'll use a shim or two behind this to keep it in place, if we can fit it. This guy's not backing out. Okay. There we go. Today's not my day. Ugh. These are the type of things that happen in a project like this. So don't laugh too much. Oh, speaking of hockey, you all know I typically do the hockey broadcasts. If anybody needs their children's hockey games done next season, since Brett's moving on to college, I am available for games. Hit me up for pricing, features, and all that good stuff. A lot of the things you're seeing on this broadcast we can do for games. And it usually turns out a little bit better because I'm not on this side of the camera. So, all right, we're gonna go with one more. Would it be better to start from the bottom up and work down? Now, I found that it works better going from top down because down here we don't have a fixed space that we need to be. We just need to be 3/8 of an inch off the ground so we can slide slab lights underneath. But I found it was easier also to wire it up starting from the top because you want to flip the slab light up in the air. So at least that's my experience. So we're good with that one. I'm going to go for one more. I'm not sure how long we're going to keep this live, but we'll keep it as, I'll probably go down to the bottom one here, make a cut, and then we'll call it a day. Super exciting work, like I said. These things do take a while, very tedious. This is actually the easiest part of the job. The hardest part is planning the layout, making sure they're all facing the right way, because these LEDs, they have to be facing a certain way. If you're going to cut into it, it has to be cut down here. There's a number of factors in planning, so I'm not afraid to admit that I asked for help from the Slablite guy, but it also took me a long time to plan out and lay out everything based on a number of factors. You know, I had a pop-up outlet in one spot. We had a sink and a cooktop stove we had to work around on one side. So, okay, so this one we are going to have to use a paddle bit to remove a part so we can countersink this slab light. And as we move a little closer down here to the bottom, we can zoom in. Yes, video cameras come with remotes, apparently. So it's been quite a while since I've used one. Not sure how good the autofocus will do, but that's not too bad of an angle. It looks like the edges are a little blurry with my wide-angle lens, but you get the idea. Just don't touch the hot wires. Very carefully in between these two slabs, take out some of this. And this is half-inch plywood here. We had to use half-inch plywood here because we wanted it to match up with the drywall that is also half-inch. So on the countertops, we're using 3/4 inch. I believe it was birch. Because we wanted solid surfaces and make sure nothing cracks. The back, there's not a lot of information online about how to do the backs. A few examples, but had to make a few calls to the owner to figure some things out. Little improvising and common sense along the way. And the reason I'm moving down on this is just to make it a little bit wider so our channel goes a little bit on the straight side. Vacuum up. I see other people have tuned in. Debbie, you're the only one that's commented so far. Got a couple people watching, so please chime in, ask questions, make fun of the host. Just don't tell me I'm ugly, you'll hurt my feeling. We end up stripping about 3/8 of an inch of wire, of shielding off the wire here. Wiring. So Debbie's asking why won't we install the countertops first and do the back. Wiring has to be settled. A lots of issues that I could think of off the top of my head. Let's see. I mean, I really don't think I would be wanting to work on top of a finished product, on top of finished stone while I'm doing this, because you drop stuff, you have wood. I'd hate to crack a piece of stone while I'm working above it. I'm kind of doing this a little bit at a time. I'm not sure if you can tell or not, but I did do some over here on this side, but eventually when I'm moving this direction, where the slabs end up is going to dictate where I end up in the corner here. So I started over there and came back over here because primarily I wanted to do this part, the easiest part, the most visible part, live for you guys so you could see this. Obviously I'm not an expert, I'm a DIYer. But I've been told many times that I'm very industrious. So that's enough for me. And I hear a bird outside hitting up against my truck. I got a truck that's got chrome on the front of it, and he's hitting up against the front of it. I'll be right back. Hey, bird brain, knock it off. Yes, you. It's that time of the year. They're building nests everywhere, and they're doing all the things that you don't want them to do. Birds. Anywho, easily distracted. Where were we? What's my name? All right. So we're good to go here. All right. Yep. So those are good to go there. Put our jig up. Almost feel like I should have a sports game going or something a little bit more interesting than I am. But we'll just keep it as it is right now. There we go. And once you get working with these things, there's a little bit of a system to it. You start getting used to how it goes up, how it works, how it doesn't work. And then you decide to go live on YouTube and you drop a slab and you crack one for the first time. So I'm sure I'll be able to use that guy again. I'll probably just seal it. One thing you do have to do is seal it with a clear acrylic waterproof caulk so that the edges are sealed. Because it is waterproof, it is rated to go under I'm not sure if it's rated to go under water surfaces, but it is rated to be in moist conditions. Moist. All right. But yeah, I'll post the website in the description below after the live chat or the live broadcast is concluded, so that anybody watching in the future knows where to go get them at. Tell them Oscar sent you. Richard will appreciate it. That bird is back at it again. I hear him out there hitting my truck. You know what? It's time to go on bird patrol. Want to come and join me? Let's go have a look at this bird. We'll probably fly away as soon as I open up the door, but yeah, he's gone. He's gone. Well, the bird Why can't you do your job and keep that bird away? Hi, what are you wagging your tail for? Say hi to everybody at home. There he is. There he is. Oh, he just flew away. You want to go get him? You want to go get him? Go get that bird. Go get that bird. Yeah, Chloe. I think he went the other way. Chloe. He's over there. Chloe. Chloe. Hey. He's over here. No. Okay, it's potty time, folks. Sorry I have to drag y'all into this. I probably shouldn't be putting my license plate on live broadcast either, but oh well, too late for that. Come on, Chloe. Chloe, come on. Come on, girl. Our neighbor is across the street with a fire in his fire pit, so our house ends up smoky. Come on, let's go inside. Good girl. All right. You know what she wants now? You know what she wants now? Okay. Sorry, y'all. This is the least entertaining part of the DIY, but it's a part of the job. Treat time. And this is our temporary kitchen here. So being that we don't really have another place working water, here you go. Good catch. All right. Back to it, y'all. Okay. There we go. Put these over here. Go back with this one. And like I said before, I think we'll get through this guy. We'll cut the one below it. And then that'll be it for our broadcast. If you have any special requests, let me know. Have any more questions? We forgot to test this one to make sure that the wires were connected. I'm fairly confident it'll work. And it does. So once again, we'll wait just a little bit, get it in place, let this cool down. Bark? Yeah? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Really? What do you see? Is somebody out there? Who's out there? Who's out there? Do you see somebody? Oh, it's one of your doggy dog friends. Just another day in the life. Go say hi. Go to the front door and say hi. Go get him. Go get him. Not that way. She really is a smart dog. Okay. Probably putting way too much adhesive on here, but rather be safe than sorry, especially on the wall. this guy down. Put the wires in place. Press them down without getting too much adhesive on your hands. And voila. And that's how we do it. Really easy to work with. And now we got a little bit less space here than a full slab. So just shy of 11 inches. So we're 10 and 7/8. So once again, LED lights up at the top here. That's where the wires are. So we're going to cut down here. I like to use a Sharpie, bright enough. So just shy of 11 inches. All right, let's go cut. So as we wrap up this broadcast, the last couple things here, I do want to thank you all for joining us here today. And if you would, please like and subscribe. I'll have some more DIY content coming up, mainly to do with our kitchen renovation here. Let's get going here with our table saw. Don't want to get too close because there are shards of plastic that go everywhere. The most important thing that I've learned about doing this is absolutely wear your protection. I was wearing my regular glasses and got a piece of the plastic up in my eye, of course. So wear the proper goggles, wear the proper everything. Take off my glasses here. That would be hard to go everywhere. You do indeed. Plastic shards fly everywhere, small little plastic pieces. I like to just run along the edges just to make sure there's nothing sharp. A little bit of sandpaper. Sand down the edges. That way I don't have any boo-boos. But you can see into the side of the material itself. Filled up with the trademark copyrighted plastic
So very neat material that we're working with here. We're going to go back inside for a flat second. Got time for one more question or goodbyes? Before we call it a night here in Northern Virginia with the birds outside. And that's what it looks like. Like I mentioned before, we'll take a little bit of acrylic. I'm sorry, not acrylic. Clear. Yes, acrylic. Caulk to seal up this joint. And make sure it's all nice and waterproof, because you don't want any type of moisture getting into this thing. And that's about it. That's Slablite in a nutshell. I'm using just regular saw blades, and it's working fine for some of the finer cuts. I'm using an oscillating tool with a wide head on it. Pretty standard stuff. But yeah, that's about it. So they cut very easily. Thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to take a peek into mine and what I'm doing behind the scenes. Thanks again. Like and subscribe. Give Slablite.com a visit if you're interested. Learn more about the material. Pay attention to our channel. We'll have some more videos coming out with how to do things, some mistakes, some accidents, some learning lessons. Not a whole lot, but at least something for everyone to learn something about. So anyways, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. I'm going to hit the end of the broadcast. Thanks for all the comments. Looks like we got Margie Smith from Maryland joining in. Hi, Margie. Thanks for tuning in. Oh, we got a few more viewers that showed up here in the last minute or two. Go check out my dancing segment. That's probably the most entertaining or appalling part of all of this. One final look at the LED lights. We'll turn out the kitchen lights. And there you go. That's Slablite. Thank you all for tuning in. Until we meet again.